About what percentage of children today in America are taking psychiatric drugs to treat behavioral problems?
I can't answer that question on a percentage basis because I've never worked it out from that point of view. I can give you a numerical figure.
Sure.
Over 9 million kids in the United States are on some type of psychotropic or neuroleptic drug that is supposedly for behavioral problems.
Okay.
All right. So when you look at it from that point of view, and then look at what that has caused in the past, you understand that we're looking at about 9 million time bombs just waiting to explode. Now let me back up and explain to you why I say that.
Yes, please.
All right. Every single mass murder, shooting, etc., that has occurred in our school system over the last 15 years that we have investigated, where we were able to get to the medical records, we found proof that a psychiatric drug and or psychiatric treatment was involved with that particular individual. One for one. There were 5 cases that we could not get the medical records on. And one of the reasons for that is apparently the pharmacological industry got there before us and sealed that, got the parents to seal that. If you've sealed my medical records, there's something you're hiding, baby. So, I could almost say one for one, but we do know that out of the 15, 5 we don't know for sure. But we have a strong suspicion, and we have gotten data from other areas to indicate this. And this goes right on through the 3 shootings that occurred back here in September, late August, early September of 2006. The strings were pulled in practically every one of those. They found prescription antidepressants in the guy's car in Colorado. And I haven't heard the data on the fellow over in the area in Pennsylvania, but I do know that at the same time there was 3 there in about a 12-day period, and the kid that was involved in it was in the hands of psychiatry or on their drugs.
When did the practice of resorting to psychiatric drugs for controlling the behavior of young people become a widespread practice in this country?
This started back in the 1980s. As relates to Ritalin itself, and it was the first drug that was created to control, quote unquote, behavior. Now, it does control behavior. It is a chemical straitjacket. It dumbs down a child. There are studies that have been done, and the mass media has not yet put these out, that show that kids on these drugs actually deteriorate grade-wise. This is not broad data that's been put out because the pharmacological industry, a multi-billions dollar industry each year, the psychiatric industry, also multi-billions, don't want this data known. The two of them together would have a conniption fit if that data were put out, I'm sure, although things are beginning to turn and we're beginning to get media today that is telling more of the truth versus trying to put out the public relations viewpoint of a pharmacological industry. But the fact of the matter is, Ritalin is not the only drug anymore. There's a plethora of these drugs out. By just about every single manufacturer has put one out. Now, I have some booklets that have data as relates to these. Let me pull up one of them here.
Okay.
This is a booklet that talks about the attention deficit hyperactivity disorder drugs.
Yes.
And the warnings that have come out. In 2004, the FDA put a warning on the drug Strattera. Strattera, I believe, is manufactured by Eli Lilly. And it says, the labeling warns that severe liver damage may progress to liver failure, resulting in death or the need for a liver transplant, in a small percentage of patients. In June of 2005, Concerta, another one of these drugs, and other methylphenidate problems, and these are the methylphenidates are the speed products. Ritalin is speed. The Drug Enforcement Agency, DEA, puts it in the same category as cocaine and morphine and those drugs. Really? Yes. And cocaine, by the way, is a legal drug. It's illegal on the street. It's a legal drug that can be prescribed. And Ritalin is legally to be prescribed. But it has become the drug of choice on the street. And it's called kiddie cocaine. It's a speed, and you can buy a tablet from me if I've got my prescription as a kid and I don't want to take them, and most kids don't, except at times. You can buy it from me for $10 a pop. It's a cheap high that you get. But Concerta, these other drugs, had this put on it: psychiatric events such as visual hallucinations, suicidal ideation, psychotic behavior, as well as aggression or violent behavior can occur. The fact that you would say to your child, it is okay to take this drug because it's legally prescribed, but it's not okay to take this drug, which is basically the same thing, because it is illegal on the streets, doesn't make sense. You see, there's an incongruency involved.
Double standard.
Well, even worse than that. It's not ethical.
Right.
You know, it's just not ethical. So there's the real issue. And then when you look at what it really does, and we're talking about a chemical straitjacket, why would we want to do that to a child? These are some of the most creative people we have on this planet, children. Man, they can sit there and they have an imagination that they can dream up whatever, you know?
Yes.
And Ron Hubbard made the statement, a civilization is only as strong as its dreams. And its dreams are dreamed by artists. Well, children are the greatest artists we have. Why dumb them down?
Yeah.
That's the ethics.